UPI is, without a doubt, a revolutionary thing. It's changed how we handle money in India. But, with all that convenience comes a whole new set of risks. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the scammer's playbook. We'll look at how they trick us, why our brains are so susceptible, and most importantly, what you can do to stay one step ahead. Let's just start with a number, a really big one. 22,845 crore rupees. That is how much money was lost to cyber financial crime in India just this year. It's a massive, staggering figure, and it shows you just how serious and widespread this problem has become. And this is the real paradox we're living in, right? On one hand, UPI's growth is just phenomenal. I mean, we're talking over 20 billion transactions every single month. It's the engine of our digital economy. But on the other hand, the money we're losing to scams has shot up by over 200%. So the easier it gets to pay, the faster the risks are growing. Now, you're probably thinking these scams must involve some super sophisticated hacking, right? But that's almost never the case. See, it's not really about breaking into technology, it's about breaking into our minds. So let's open up the scammer's playbook, because it's all about one thing: manipulating human psychology. Which brings us to the biggest question of all. How are so many of us, people who are smart, who are careful, who are digitally savvy, how are we getting tricked every single day? Well, the answer isn't about a failure of our apps. It's a very clever exploitation of how our brains are wired. The technique has a name. It's called social engineering. Scammers weaponize our most natural human tendencies, things like our trust in authority, our knee-jerk reaction to urgency, even our desire to be helpful. They use these against us to get us to just hand over our information. They don't have to break through the bank's firewall because they've already bypassed the firewall in our own brains. Let's look at the specific emotional buttons they push. They play on our respect for authority, right? Pretending to be from the bank, the police, or the RBI. They create a fake sense of urgency with a ticking clock. You have to act in the next 5 minutes or your account will be blocked. They use fear, inventing some kind of crisis like a fake criminal case. And of course, the big one, they appeal to our greed with promises of a lottery win or an amazing cashback deal. Each one of these is like a key designed to unlock our natural defenses. So how do they actually put these psychological tricks into motion? Well, they rely on a few common methods. You can think of these as the delivery systems for their psychological attacks. First up, there's phishing, which is basically phishing over a voice call. A scammer calls you, but this is where it gets absolutely terrifying. With new AI, they only need a few seconds of audio from, say, a social media video to perfectly clone the voice of your son or your wife or your parent. They create a totally believable emergency call, and this tactic alone has caused voice phishing to surge by over 400%. It's wild. Next is quishing, which is all about QR codes. And this scam is so effective because it's just so simple. A scammer literally just prints their own QR code on a sticker, and they paste it right over the real one at a tea stall, a parking lot, or any small shop. You think you're paying the merchant, you scan the code, and poof, the money goes straight to the scammer. Okay, this one is really sneaky because it twists how UPI works. Let's say you're selling something online. The buyer tells you they've sent the money and that you need to approve their collect request to get it. They tell you just enter your PIN to accept the payment. But here's the trap. Entering your PIN for a collect request sends money. It never, ever receives it. Okay, if you remember only one thing from this entire explainer, please let it be this. This is the golden rule. You only need to enter your UPI PIN when you are sending money or maybe checking your balance. You never, ever, ever need a PIN to receive money. If anyone asks for your PIN to send you money, it is a scam, 100% of the time. End of story. All right, we've seen the playbook, we know the tricks. Now let's talk about building up our defenses. This isn't about being paranoid, it's just about being smart and prepared. Here are the simple, practical habits that can keep you safe every single day. So here are the things you should always do. Before you hit send, always verify the recipient's name. Only download your banking and payment apps from the official Google Play Store or Apple App Store. And just be aware of your surroundings. Glance at that QR sticker. Does it look like it's pasted on top of another one? Now for the absolute don'ts. Never, ever share your PIN or OTP. Not with your best friend, not with your mom, not with anyone. Don't click on sketchy links you get in texts or emails. And if a stranger on the phone ever asks you to install a screen sharing app, just hang up. That's like giving them the keys to your entire phone. But look, what if the worst happens? What if you do get scammed? If that happens, the first 60 minutes are absolutely critical. We call it the golden hour. What you do in this window can be the difference between getting your money back and it being gone for good. So here are the 3 critical steps. You have to do them, and you have to do them fast. Step 1. The very first call you make is to your bank. Report the fraud, tell them to freeze your account. Step 2. Immediately after you hang up with the bank, dial 1930. That's the National Cybercrime Helpline. Your call triggers an immediate alert across the financial system to try and block the transaction. And step 3, go online to cybercrime.gov.in and file a formal complaint. This creates the legal record needed for an investigation. Just remember, speed is everything. Now for some good news. You are not in this fight alone. While the scammers are definitely getting smarter, so are the systems that are designed to protect us. So let's take a quick look at how the entire financial world is fighting back. The defense systems are getting incredibly sophisticated. You've got AI engines analyzing millions of transactions a second, looking for weird patterns and issuing over 1 million fraud alerts every single week. Your smartphone is also getting smarter. Some can now detect phishing patterns during a call and warn you, all without invading your privacy. And we're all helping each other out through crowdsourcing, reporting suspicious accounts to help the system identify and flag scammers in real time. And it's not just the tech companies. The regulators are stepping up in a big way. The RBI has laid out a clear timeline for much stronger security measures. By 2026, mandatory 2-factor authentication is going to be active for all domestic payments. This is a huge deal. It means moving beyond just a simple SMS OTP to much more secure methods, like your fingerprint, which will make it so much harder for fraudsters to get through. And so that brings us to the final question. The technology is getting smarter. The regulations are getting tougher. The whole system is constantly improving. But as we've seen today, the weakest link in the chain is almost always the human one. The ultimate firewall isn't sitting in some data center. It's right here between our ears. The best defense will always be our own awareness, our skepticism, and our vigilance. Stay safe out there.